Hello, today is the 7th of April 2023. I'd like to speak today about the efficiency of vehicles. Right now, I am in an industry, in a career, in a line of work that requires me to carry stuff around, tools, equipment, sometimes heavy materials, supplies, plenty of supplies, etc. And I've been thinking about getting a larger vehicle, switching from a small vehicle that I have now that I've been using for over a year, actually about 2 years now. It's a quite efficient vehicle. It's a hybrid Toyota Prius, and once in a while, I've thought about getting a larger vehicle. One time I even test drove and almost got a smaller van. Not as efficient, of course, a strictly gas driven powered van, work van. Luckily I didn't get it because it seemed like it had some transmission problems. And when I get to really think about the situation now with fuel prices, with the cost of vehicles, with inflation, with the runaway, price gouging that's going on right now in just about every industry, especially the transportation or vehicle sales industry, makes me think about switching twice. Not only because of the exuberant and extraordinary high prices, but also because of, I've been trying to be fuel efficient in every way I can for the past decade at least. And I don't believe now is the time, especially now, is the time to go backward and go into a gas guzzler. I've thought about a big work van, so those are definitely gas guzzlers. There are none available in the market that are very fuel efficient, none that are accessible anyway, that are electric, for example, or even highly fuel efficient like a hybrid, or one that has a system, even if it's gas driven, that is highly fuel efficient, like some of the Ford trucks have a highly fuel efficient system where they switch from 4 cylinders to 6 cylinders. I believe one of their engines, at least one of their engine models, has this capability. However, those vans, those systems, those models are extraordinarily expensive, out of reach. They're nonsensical when it comes to efficiency, because efficiency, big part of it is saving money, saving funds, resources. If you can't do that to begin with, then it's just not worth it. So going backward, back in time, retreating, it's just a bad idea, I believe, for anyone when it comes to efficiency, when it comes to saving money, when it comes to technological advance. You don't want to retreat in a way that's going to put you back, especially when you're talking about a big purchase like a vehicle. A big purchase is going to be something that is going to last a long time. For example, if you buy a vehicle, if you buy a home, if you buy a boat, stuff like that, that purchase, you're going to be paying for that stuff a long time if you finance it. We're talking about many years, 4, 5, 6, 7 years or more. And also, even if you buy it cash outright, it is something that is going to likely stick around with you. You're going to keep it around for a long time, again, several years at least. So I believe it to be a bad idea to get into a gas guzzler right now, especially in 2023, early 2023, and keep that for the next 5 to 6 to 7 years, when the technology perhaps is finally opening up with electric vehicles, with fuel efficiency. It's finally, companies and corporations, car manufacturers are finally, embracing electric vehicles. They're finally embracing fuel efficiency in just about every line of car or type of car or truck that you can that are out there. For example, there are now pickup trucks available that are electric. One is the Rivian that's out in the market right now, although it is excruciatingly expensive and eye-poppingly painful to even look at the price tag. But it's out there, it's available, although it may take several months to acquire, even if you pay for it outright up front, because of the delays and the backups in production that those companies have been facing. It's however available. Another truck that may be available soon, in the next year or so, is the Cybertruck from Tesla. I just noticed that Nissan also has an SUV, although it's not a truck. It is as close as it gets to a truck that could potentially be used for work. It has a lot more space than a vehicle, than a car, So it is now in the market. It is available for purchase, even here in the very backward state of Georgia. I've seen a couple available in my local dealership around here. So that's refreshing to see. Electric vehicles being embraced, more models coming out, bigger vehicles being electric, fully electric. I'm yet to see any other manufacturer come out with work vans. There was talk of Nissan coming out with an electric minivan, work minivan. However, that has not materialized, and who knows when that would be, if that would be a reality. Ford was talking about coming out with an electric van, work van. I believe the Transit. However, that has not materialized either. Ford also does have now available a truck, a pickup truck that is fully EV, fully electric. It is the Ford F-150 Lightning. It is, however, very, very difficult to get right now, and is even more difficult to get under $90,000 per vehicle, which is outrageously expensive. It is, approaching the cost of a home, of a fully fledged home in many parts of the country. So it is just amazing and ridiculous the way things have been going and are going with car prices and truck prices and vehicle prices in general. So one way to fight against the inflation, the runaway prices that we have right now throughout pretty much every industry, including the transportation industry, the food industry, the fuel industry, the energy industry. Everything's through the roof right now in April 2023. Fuel prices are approaching $3.20 in this area of the country. Some areas probably are a lot more than that. Some perhaps slightly less. However, fuel prices are, at record high prices right now. They have been for the last year or so. Food prices are even more outrageous than fuel prices. Food prices have pretty much doubled in the last year. So inflation is run away. It's run amok. It is just outrageously ridiculous and stupid the way things are. One way to combat this is to stop spending money. Stop buying so much. Stop buying things that you really don't need and things that could really wait. One thing that could wait for many, many people, including myself right now, is the purchase of a vehicle. Hold on to what you've got. Just use what you've got if at all possible. Yes, with few exceptions. You may be out of a ride, you may be out of a vehicle, you may need to get a vehicle so you can begin to work, or whatever the case may be. That is fine, but for most, I believe, people that would like to change, upgrade their car because their car is a little too old, they think it's a little too ugly, or this and that, or they want the newest model, that could wait. That could wait until the car and truck and van prices are back to normal, or at least not as outrageous as they are right now. And that is a way to combat this. That is a way to beat the system, to allow the system to regulate itself by having people buy less. People buy less. The sellers, manufacturers take notice very, very fast, very quickly, and they will drop prices. That is their first natural reaction. So that must happen. If the prices, like they have been, there have been many reports that manufacturers rather, create artificial shortages to keep prices up. They rather hold on to what they've got and use deceptive and abusive selling practices than lower their prices. Yes, that's fine and dandy. Go ahead and try that. But that is bound to fail as well. Eventually, if people are smart, if people begin to act and, do things the smart way, they will stop buying, will stop spending as much, will begin to put off big purchases, big expenditures, big vacation, big trips, and the like, and prices will naturally have to drop. The companies that don't do this are the companies that will fall behind in sales so bad that their very existence may be in jeopardy. So, let the market do and regulate itself. The problem that has been occurring, I believe, partly, in a very large part, I believe, has been the artificial plundering and injection of funds into the system. Yes, that has helped many families. The help and aid from the government, that it has helped many, many families in need. But in reality, it has helped more families that do not have any need, that been wealthy, that have all the wealth, more. I can argue that all the help that has been occurring has been happening mainly in the upper echelons of society, the upper classes, the wealthy classes. The business owners are the ones that have been receiving the biggest checks, the steadiest checks, and the more often checks during the pandemic, and now during this era of where this law was passed, this act, the Inflation Reduction Act, and you know, also with the war in Ukraine and other issues throughout the world, including, you know, the pandemic. All those funds have been funneled up, have been, you know, been distributed mainly to the rich, mainly to the powerful, mainly to business owners, company owners, mainly to corporations, and very few and far between of those checks, small, very meager, and insignificant checks have been distributed to the masses, including the middle class and the upper middle class that really needed no help. A few checks have been distributed to those also, you know, covering the lower income, very poor, and under the poverty line folks. So it's been unfortunate that all this redistribution of wealth has been mainly benefiting the people that need no benefit, that need no help. They have been already making out like bandits throughout, and during the pandemic this has been found to be the case, that the ones that benefited the most are the rich and the powerful. So the thing we can do again is to hold back, hold to what you've got, deal with what you've got, work with what you've got, forget about big purchases, new things, new homes, new cars for the foreseeable future for now, until things regulate, until things come down, until the greed and the plundering stops, because it is just out of control. It is just widespread right this moment. Thank you very much.